I'll write you a song, a really tasteful song. But you tell me what you want the song to be about. We can make it loud, or we can keep it down. It's up to you, it's your song, but I'll work it out. We can make it movie, we can make it fun. We can make it movie, and then pick it up. I'll write you a song, I'll write you a song, a really tasteful song, a really tasteful song. But you tell me what you want the song to be about. We can even lash out, make the language strong. We can write a love song, we're just asking around. You a song, a really tasteful song. But you tell me what you want the song to be about.
Oh, that's a hell of a way to start a show. So after, oh, yeah, right. After being pecked by a radioactive bird, somewhat mannered Tuthill was possessed to become Kineas the Sky Dude. Episode number 146 of Sky Dude. Wow. In today's adventures, Kineas is going to try to go around the northern Mediterranean coast. So we are at Rome, and in Neofly, I've already got us a job set up. Just takes us up the coast a little bit past Pisa in Italy. Sadly, Florence is a little bit too far inland to divert over to Florence, but anyway, we've got a passenger on board, and we just have to deliver him up the road a little ways. I'm not really getting the data at the moment. Well, we'll get it. It's not very far. And make sure that we are in the right spot over here in Bushtalk. Make sure it has us in the appropriate location. There we are. This thing's got so many points of interest now, it's acting so slow and buggy. And right now, we're not even getting the map proper loaded in. Lower, there's a lot of stuff down here. So as we take off and head up this way, what is this here? Larger cities of Rome. Etruria, previously known as Etruria. An airfield. A mountain. A nuclear power plant. Casa. Try to reload this page. It's coming in so poor. There we go. Come on. So when I play Rome Total War, you usually have to deal with these people up here right away, and you usually end up making your way along this coast. And it's really a good idea that you secure everything you can secure along this coast, and try to use it as your own shipping and ports and yada yada yada. It's a good idea that you take these 2 islands too. That's neither here or there today. All right, back to the cockpit. We are ready to go. We've already got everything fueled up, checked, check. Everything's set up in the GPS for us. It's just a matter of getting up and doing it and trying to make a little bit of money today. I have been, as you may have noticed, every day I'm not using the Neofly to make us money, and I've kind of gotten a little bit complicit. We're over $9 million. And, so when you have that much money, it's kind of easy to become lazy. And still, that's nothing. $9 million is nothing in Neofly. If you want to actually eventually be able to afford an airliner.
Pilot, have a nice flight.
Thank you very much, dispatch. Yesterday was a lot of fun. Fun? Yeah, that too. Flying the
Vienna airport attacks were 2 major terrorist attacks carried out on the 7th of December 1985. 7 Arab terrorists attacked 2 airports in Rome, Italy, and Vienna.
You
Austria,
bad guys.
Rifles and hand grenades. 19 civilians were killed and over 100 others were injured before 4 of the terrorists were killed by El Al security personnel and local police, who captured the remaining 3. At 8:15 GMT, 4 Arab gunmen walked to the shared ticket counter for Israel's El Al Airlines and Trans World Airlines at Leonardo da Vinci Fiumicino Airport outside Rome, Italy, fired assault rifles and threw grenades. They killed 16 and wounded 99, including American diplomat Wes Wessels, before 3 of the attackers were killed by El Al security, while the remaining one, Mohammed Sharam, was wounded and captured by the Italian police. The dead included General Donato Miranda Acosta, Mexican military attaché, and his secretary, Genevieve Jamie Cisneros. Minutes later, at Stade Airport in Vienna, Austria, 3 terrorists carried out a similar attack. Hand grenades were thrown into crowds of passengers queuing to check in for a flight to Tel Aviv, killing 2 people instantly and wounding 39 others. A 3rd victim died on the 22nd of January 1986, of hand grenade wounds sustained in the attack. First response came from several Austrian police officers, who opened fire on the terrorists. They were supported by 2 plainclothes El Al security guards who helped to repel the attackers. Over 200 bullets were fired during the fight. The terrorists seized a Mercedes outside the terminal and fled, with Austrian police and El Al security
The Hyundai? No, Mercedes.
Terrorist and captured the other 2.
Toyota? No, Mercedes.
After a short car chase and gun battle.
Bitches.
In all, the 2 strikes killed 19, including a child, and wounded around 140.
It's hard not having ill feelings towards the same people throughout all of modern and especially ancient history who have been up to the same crap the entire time. I used to love Sting. I still do. I mean, hey, but I was impressionable. An impressionable youth. I was very into the Police, very into Sting. And he released just one of the greatest albums. And there was a song called History Will Teach Us Nothing. And, you know, as a kid, you don't necessarily understand the importance of it. Like, this is boring. Why do we have to learn about things that happened in the past? And as an adult, I got into history a lot earlier than I thought. Like around college, I really started getting into history. But as a younger person, I just wasn't that interested. It didn't really do anything for me. And now it's like, oh my God, I wish I would have paid attention to everything, memorized all the dates and all the people and everything. I would have been an A student. Not that I was a bad student, you know. I mean, I just managed to get good grades. Just, you know, come back and listening. Nothing was too hard. Anyway, you know, I'm not saying anybody on the planet's a saint, but again, we've had one particular conflict that has never stopped. From shortly after the dawning of civilizations, plural, there has been a series of conflicts that have really never stopped. And there's a lot of reasons why, I suppose, they don't want to stop. But, you know, when do you say just when? When is enough enough? You know, we don't look like you, we don't act like you. The difference these days is the suffering somebody else to live. Not being able to suffer somebody else to live. Right? We don't look like them, we don't sound like you, we don't do what you do. Therefore, we don't deserve to live. And that's, you know what that is. It's garbage. So, you know, with anything going on these days, it's hard to have any sympathy. Like, what about this? And I'm like, yeah, well, it's been the same way all throughout time. It's never changed. But what about the, you know, this and these people and what's happening over here and this got, you know. Yeah, well, it's all happened before, over and over and over and over again. So when you're dealing with now thousands of years of tragedy and war that's never stopped, yeah, it's very difficult to care or to sympathize with the people that, you know, want to kill you. It used to be very, very live and let live. When you were young and your heart was an open book, you used to say, live and let live. You know you did. You know you did. You know you did. But in this ever-changing world in which we live in, makes you give in and cry. Do a little flight level change here. Raise our altitude. Just to be safe. I think we would have been clear, but just to be safe. We haven't triggered anything else on our map yet. But we're coming upon a mountain here. Santa Marinella. So I don't understand the big picture of things. I don't understand, like, why we would want conflicts with certain people when that's not the end game. The end game is the first game, and will there ever be an end? I don't know. But I do know that certain other people in the at the end of the day, as people say, they're going to be in trouble too. And so why would we be wasting our time in the modern era trying to put the squeeze on people we are desperately going to need as our friends during endgame? We're kind of going into endgame now. I mean, this is it seems like it anyway. All right, is this not going to play? Give it one more second. It should have played. We're in range. All right, let me play it.
The Monti della Tolfa are a volcanic group in the Anti-Apennines of the northern part of the Lazio region of central Italy. They are bounded by the Tyrrhenian Sea coast to the west, by the Monti Sabatini to the east, and by the Monti Cimini and the river to the north. Tolfa and Alumia are the principal towns. The highest peak is the Monte Maggiore. The Monti della Tolfa consists mostly of trachytes formed during the Eocene and the early Pleistocene. The mountains are an important source of alunite, from which alum is extracted. The mineral was discovered there in 1461 and extensively mined until the mine closed in 1941. After almost 500 years, for much of this time, it was the principal source of alum in Europe.
Pause right there. Alum. Now, I've never experienced any. I've never had any alum in my house. What alum through time has been used for? If it's something like a food component to make things bitter, we do know that is a, food balance combination. You want bitter. But in old cartoons, Tom and Jerry, early Warner Brothers, Sylvester and Tweety Bird, there's always a box of alum, A-L-U-M, alum, up in the cabinet somewhere. And so just as Tom or Sylvester is ready to eat Jerry or Tweety Bird, the box of alum will somehow or another get into their mouth. And it always shows their mouth puckering up so tightly that they can't get their mouth open to put Tweety Bird or Jerry in. At that point, Sylvester had to grab a straw and try to draw in Tweety Bird that way, and it ended up just splintering the straw. You remember that? It's imprinted in my memory. But they're saying, yeah, this was a primary place for alum in the world. Let me go ahead and finish playing the rest of the audio, and I'm going to grab Google here and find just exactly what the hell alum was used for in the kitchen.
The Monti della Tolfa are a volcanic
group in the
Anti-Apennines of the northern part of the Lazio region of central Italy. They are bounded by the Tyrrhenian Sea coast to the west, by the Monti Sabatini to the east, and by the Monti Cimini and the river to the north. Tolfa and Alumia are the principal towns. The highest peak is the Monte Maggiore. The Monti della Tolfa consists mostly of trachytes formed during the Eocene and the early Pleistocene. The mountains are an important source of alunite, from which alum is extracted. The mineral was discovered there in 1461 and extensively mined until the mine closed in 1941. After almost 500 years, for much of this time, it was the principal source of alum in Europe. The Tolfetano breed of horse originates in the area and takes its name from it.
An alum is a type of chemical compound, usually a hydrated double sulfate salt of aluminum, with the general formula. I never took chemistry. Another thing I really, really regret, I just wish I would have been way more into education and wanting it and being hungry for it as a kid. All right. It's a monovalent cation, such as potassium or ammonium. By itself, alum is often refers to potassium alum with the formula. Other alums are named after the monovalent ion, such as sodium alum and ammonium alum. The name alum is used more generally for salts with the same formula and structure, except that aluminum is replaced by another trivalent metal ion like chromium, and or sulfur is replaced by another chalcogen like selenium. The most common of these analogs is chrome alum. In most industries, the name alum or paper maker's alum is often referred to aluminum sulfate, which is used for most industrial flocculation. Is an integer whose size depends on the amount of water absorbed into the alum. For medicine, the word alum may refer to aluminum hydroxide gel used as a vaccine adjuvant. One moment. I've been checking and nothing yet.
You locked me out of the house.
What?
You locked me out of the house.
Oh, all right. One moment. Been waiting on a computer shipment today, and I'll be right back. I locked my daughter out of the house. That song's already sticking in my head from Arthur today. I want to write you a song. Alum in Pliny and Discordes. Alum found at archaeological sites. Alum described in medieval text. Alum and green vitriol, iron sulfate, both have a sweetish and astringent taste. And they had overlapping uses. Therefore, through the Middle Ages, alchemists and other writers do not seem to have distinguished the two salts accurately. In the writings of alchemists, we find the word mizisari and chalcanthum applied to either compound, and the name atramentum sutorium, which one might expect to belong exclusively to green vitriol, applied indiscriminately to both. Alum was the most common mordant substance used to set dyes on fabrics, used by the dye industry, especially in Islamic countries. During the Middle Ages, it was the main export of the Chad region, from where it was transported to the markets of Egypt and Morocco, and then to Europe. Less significant sources were found in Egypt and Yemen. Modern understanding of the alums. Let's see if it says anything. I'm just kind of scanning here to see what the food relation is. I'm seeing animal glues, water treatments, undercoat for paper sizing. Alum. Okay, so they're also saying, now I just typed in alum in the kitchen. Oh, my screen. Why the drone camera does that, I still don't know. All through this series and all through the simulator, I don't know why the drone slowly rotates over time. So I apologize for that. Wasn't paying attention. I was reading. And the drone does its thing, and it it rotates, so I'm sorry. Okay. It's a food additive used in baking powder and is a crisping agent in the production of pickles and maraschino cherries. It's used only in a soak solution and is washed off thoroughly before completing the recipe. Alum is also used to harden gelatin. Alum works best in pickling or canning and is used to make pickles crisp. It's also used to leaven dough and make bread spongy and crispy. Alum has several uses in leather tanning, skin products, vaccines, water purification, and styptic pencils. Isn't it amazing that one thing can be used for so many things? And that there, what we just read, that's just scratching the surface on everything that I was skimming on what one compound, one mineral is used for. Where are we? We're up here already. Over to our left.
The Tarot Garden is a sculpture garden based on the esoteric tarot, created by the French-American artist Niki de Saint-Phal in Pescia Fiorentina, located in Garavicchio, in the municipality of Capalbio, province of Grosseto, Tuscany, Italy. The park was opened to the public in 1998. Niki de Saint-Phal, inspired by Antoni Gaudi's Parc Güell in Barcelona, and Parco dei Mostri in Bomarzo, as well as Palais Ideal by Ferdinand Cheval, and Watts Towers by Simon Rodier, decided to make something similar in design for her monumental sculpture park based on the tarot. In 1979, she acquired some land on top of an Etruscan ruin in Garavicchio, Tuscany, about 100 kilometers northwest of Rome along the coast. There she built the Giardino dei Tarocchi, containing 22 monumental figures representing her idea of the greater mysteries of the tarot, constructed of reinforced concrete and covered with mirrors and ceramic mosaic.
Wow.
Some of the larger sculptural figures can be walked through. The artist herself lived inside the Sphinx-like empress for several years during the construction of the garden.
Wow, that would be cool. Wow, that would definitely be something to see. You're into, I mean, just it would be neat to see whether or not you are into the tarot. It's 27 minutes after the hour. I've definitely gotten off schedule with the whole. I liked running the show like a radio show in some ways. In the past, I used to do a lot of radio, so I'm always wanting to do the, hey, it's 28 minutes after the hour, and, you know, do the time, and the smoke break and the drink break. Usually the smoke break is at the 20-minute mark. We'll take a little break there, and I haven't been doing that. Just been trying to muscle through everything that we're doing, the Route of Alexander, and et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, I'd like to kind of stick with it. I guess that's where I'm going with that. It's 28 minutes after the hour. We grab 29 minutes after the hour. Maybe we'll just do bottom of the hour. Combine them both. Smoke break and the drink break. Now, in my imaginary plane back there, where you're always the VIP, by the way, and you'll get 10,000 frequent flyer miles for this trip. You're keeping track. I don't know what I will let you redeem them on yet, but I should come up with something like that. A Kin Airways t-shirt. You tune into so many live streams and accumulate so many hours in flying. You can get this nice Kineas SkyDude bumper sticker, or Kineas mug, or Kineas Hawaiian shirt, or, yeah, the t-shirt. I flew Kineas Airways, and all I got was this crappy shirt. You didn't kill us, though. So I imagine these all, at least these seats all facing inward to the center, so that everybody can enjoy each other's company. That's too formal for me back there. And I would want more LCD lighting and LED lighting and LCD screens, whatever, digital lighting and blah, blah, blah. And a nice little snack bar and drink bar back there. There, we're at the bottom of the hour. So let me play that tune. The song of the day is called I'll Write You a Song, from the Death, Rattle, and Hum album by Arthur Yoria on BANDCAMP. And you can go over there and you can purchase the song. You can purchase the whole album. You can purchase the whole discography, and that's the best deal by far. Arthur Yoria is very prolific. He's been very prolific for the last decade, or way more than that, actually. So he's got a large collection of albums already, and his earliest work is so amazing. Not getting paid to say any of this. It's just truism. I listen to a lot of music, as I mentioned the DJ thing. I've had to listen to a lot of music over the years, and it's rare. Well, not these days. You know, we're in the superhero kid genetic stage of things, and so the talent is just amazing. Arthur is one of those talents, folks. Big time. Anyway, I recommend just buying the whole discography. It's like $50, and you get access to everything. But again, it's up to you. If you can get, I think that the tracks as little as $1. And I would recommend becoming friends with Arthur. So if you have an inclination to add music to your own shows later or videos, and you need an artist that you might want to work with, I recommend contacting him. He's a really, really nice guy. I mean, super, super nice. And I think he'd be willing to work with you on stuff like that. All right, so cheers. Here's to health, well-being, and prosperity. And I'll write you a song from Death, Rattle, and Hum by Arthur Yoria.
I'll write you a song, a really tasteful song. But you tell me what you want the song to be about. We can make it loud, or we can keep it down. It's up to you, it's your song, but I'll work it out. We can make it movie, we can make it fun. We can make it movie, and then pick it up. I'll write you a song, I'll write you a song, a really tasteful song, a really tasteful song. But you tell me what you want the song to be about. We can even lash it out, make the language strong. We can write a love song, we're just asking around.
So good.
You'll see on the ground, and I've been around. Water me, that is free. But you got the sun in your bank account. I'll write you a song, a really tasteful song. But you tell me what you want the song
To be about. Oh, I love it. I want it to be about flying. I guess. An airplane song, Arthur. Hello to Burger LOL and MCF boys. Gentlemen, how are you? Do my little salute. Good to see you today. Thanks for stopping in, of course, always. Thank you for the hearts. Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. We're going to get back to, we're pretty much close to Germany at this point. If I just point that way, and if I were to just keep flying that way, we're right back into Germany. But we're making our way back, and today I wanted to take some jobs in Neofly that'll take us over to Spain, actually, along the coast. And then back up into France. Tomorrow, the Microsoft community fly-in is going to be Luxembourg to Paris. And so if I can get things squared away today and make it close to Luxembourg, maybe we'll do that. I might have to start an hour early tomorrow. I'll have to double check their start times. It used to correspond perfectly to my show. They used to do it at 1. And unfortunately, I changed my time. I was doing noon. And then they changed to noon, and now we're all off again. But either way, we'll see about tomorrow being possibly Luxembourg to Paris. This weekend, I don't know what's going on, if our D&D game is on or off. I'm not sure yet. Hey, you know what I said I wanted to do? Let me check, see how much time we have left on this flight. All right, we still have some time. Oh yeah, 23 minutes. Okay. Henning Burger LOL in the chat room said the other day that he posted some new content, and I haven't stopped to go check it out. And what we need to do is check that out. So let's go over to his channel here. I don't know why it won't allow me to go to your channel while it's connected to the studio. I have to pop it out. Only when the chat is popped out do I get the go to channel option. All right, let me change over to the YouTube record. Burger LOL. He is a young German gentleman who is really learning how to fly. For real. He's a real glider pilot. And the first videos that we saw from him were his first... This was his very first landing that we saw. Uh-oh. The sound. Ah!
I want you, I need you, oh God.
Okay, I gotta turn off the sound. Is this the latest one then? It's just there's the glider on the ground. Oh, you're not seeing it. Now, how do I make this bigger? So it looks like you're getting it, like it looks like you're. Oh, okay, I see. You're getting in there. You're sitting in there. Could be Hans holding up the wing. Who knows who that is? And you're getting towed into your flight by the aircraft in front. Ah, darn scene switcher. Let me turn off the scene switcher. They need a fast button for that. We need a fast button. So I can start and stop my automatic scene switcher so it stays on the screen that I want as long as I need. Okay, there goes the takeoff again. All right, and the next one. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I just see us sitting in the plane. 0493. Ah. Oh, it's a winch takeoff. Nice. Wow, that's got to be scary going up at that angle like that. Yeah. And that was this is the first one that we saw that one day. Cool. Let me share those. Ah, come on, you. Dun, 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 dun. Cool. Got that one posted. And this one, the winch one. I'm just saying here that you're doing a winch assist glider takeoff. That looks wild, yeah. Doesn't show me posting them. Maybe it does. I don't know. All right, so those are both posted. We'll watch that one more time. Yeah, man, you go straight up. Wow. Get back to the chat. Great. See what's going on over at MCF Boys Channel. City of Manchester. What's this one? Raleigh? Was this one? I don't remember if this one was up or not. Yeah, it was, I think. Maybe. No, maybe not. That's wild. Wild visual effects. Really? Is that a preview or is that can't be? I was gonna say that can't be game footage on the Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. I haven't played any Spider-Man games in years. I'll bet they're getting really, really good. It'd be nice if the graphics through them were that smooth and good. Yeah, I've seen these. All right. All right, let's turn back on the automatic scene switcher. Please, OBS, give us a fast toggle button for that. We're getting close. Get the camera back. We're in Italy. What about the Tarot Garden? Let's see what else. We're up here now. And we missed whatever this was.
Piazza Dante is the main public square in Grosseto, Tuscany, Italy. The piazza is located in the city's historic center, included within the perimeter of the 16th century city walls. It is home to the city's main representative buildings, including the St. Lawrence Cathedral, the Palazzo Comunale and the Palazzo Aldobrandocchi, seat of the province of Grosseto. The northern section of the square is called Piazza Duomo, since it is overlooked by the cathedral's facade. The main square of the city of Grosseto is documented as Platea Comuni starting from 1222.
All right. Out here is a stronghold. There was a battle out between these points, or no, this is a lighthouse. A siege. French attempt to force the surrender of the Tuscan fortress town. 1801. In the Treaty of Fontainebleau, the Allies exiled Napoleon to Elba, an island of 12,000 inhabitants in the Mediterranean, 20 kilometers off the Tuscan coast. So this is where... Wow, what a punishment, right? What a punishment. Well, I guess, for some people that would be, but... Oh, exile me to a Mediterranean island? Yeah. I am thankful today. I am thankful that I have folks that stop in and check in daily to the live stream. Thank you so much. It makes it worth it. People are like, well, don't people watch your stream? And I'm like, no, not really. No, it's, this isn't the most exciting stuff. I'm not doing Fortnite. I'm not doing action and adventure. I'm just flying around and talking and playing whatever's on this map or whatever, following routes of history and whatever. Not the most exciting stuff. But even having you few that do check in on me every day, I got my hands together in the prayer position, and I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you. You absolutely keep this alive. It's because of you this works at all. And with just the few that the few numbers that I do have, you folks, you're making it happen. So I'm going to continue doing this, but normally I like playing other games as well. And I was really into the habit there for a while of doing like 3 or 4 streams a day, and we're working on different titles at the same time, like The Sims, Bannerlord, The Dark Alone, or whatever the heck that survival game is, and Baldur's Gate, and the other titles I haven't gone back to. This is my main thing. Flying is my thing. Learning to fly in the simulator and just muck about in simulators. This is my thing. I do enjoy the other ones, and in April it should start getting a little more exciting because I really want to check out Manor Lords. It's a medieval city builder, and I guess it'll have combat. I'm not sure everything that it will do, but I really am looking forward to playing that. I really wanted to play Cities, but I waited and I kept asking, is the economy going to be for real? Is food going to matter? And it doesn't. So it's just worthless. It's worthless. If right off the bat, if you don't have enough food or can't make food deals with other places that have limited resources, and your city can't die from starvation, then what is the challenge? There is no challenge. If food doesn't matter, I'm not. And I wanted to play cities so bad. I miss SimCity. And even SimCity, we kept demanding over the years, make food matter. They kept diminishing the farm. They always seem to screw things up in the worst way. I don't understand these people that have had the world's greatest gaming franchises and then they totally blow them. It makes no sense to me. So if your city can't die from food as well, and you can't export an abundance of food and make other cities grow, and it's not part of the scheme, and you can't do deals, and then forget it. And so I've been out on cities, and until they do fix it and things like that matter, or there's a mod, but it shouldn't be a mod. It shouldn't have to be. It should be an option. The food matters option. So yeah, if it's not in there, it's not for me. Oh, are we just hitting a waypoint, or is this our destination? I think this is just the waypoint at Pisa. Let me zoom out. Yeah, but our destination is just beyond that tiny bit. Okay. Over here to our left, off the coast, the lighthouse. Over here to our right, San Gimignano.
San Gimignano is a small walled hill town in the province of Siena, Tuscany, north-central Italy. Known as the town of fine towers, San Gimignano is famous for its medieval architecture, unique in the preservation of about a dozen of its tower houses, which, with its hilltop setting and encircling walls, form an unforgettable skyline. Within the walls, the well-preserved buildings include notable examples of both Romanesque and Gothic architecture, with outstanding examples of secular buildings as well as churches. The Palazzo Comunale, the Collegiate Church and Church of Sant'Agostino contain frescoes, including cycles dating from the 14th and 15th centuries. The historic center of San Gimignano is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The town also is known for saffron, the golden and its white wine, Vernaccia di San Gimignano, produced from the ancient variety of Vernaccia grape which is grown on the sandstone hillsides of the area. A fictionalized version of San Gimignano is featured in E.M. Forster's 1905 novel, Where Angels Fear to Tread as Monteriano. M.C. Escher's 1923 woodcut San Gimignano depicts the celebrated towers. A 15th century version of the town is featured in the 2009 video game Assassin's Creed 2.
Wow. For any of you Assassin's Creed players, my children were into Assassin's Creed. I've never played it myself. It does look amazing. I mean, really, the whole premise, the story, and, you know, the way you can move and the things you can do, it's far out. Man. I'll try to, let me go ahead and start dropping altitude a little bit here. Because we're coming up on Pisa, and I don't know if we'll be able to see the tower or not. I don't know if it's in there. But we'll do our best to try. So let me use our altitude knob here up on the dash. I've got us at 5,200. Let's come down to, make sure there's no mountains. Not really. Okay. Oops. Slipped. Still don't have sticky keys in the simulator. When you hover over a button, it should lock onto it for a moment and go sticky. And we don't have it. And that can be a real drag when you're flying around it and things are going badly. There's 2,000 feet. All right, let's do a flight level change. Pull back on the throttle and begin a descent. It will not descend if you do a flight level change and you have your throttle all the way up. and you're wondering why won't the dang thing descend, that's the reason why. Since we're under 10,000 feet, we're going down into the 2,000 feet. I'm gonna go ahead and put the inertial separator on. We don't have real damage. I don't have any real damage set up, and I probably should now start getting to the point where I turn on all the things can go wrong, right? Engine damage, engine failure. And now the separator, what that does is heavy particles that are drawn into through the intake, the air intake, it diverts heavy particles away from the engine and exhausts them out. When you're higher up in the air, it's not a problem, so you shut it. But closer to the ground, where you might run into larger particulate matter, you're going to want that on. There's the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And we're out here still in the circle. U.S. Army Camp Derby in Italy. To our left. (2,800 feet). Go to 1,500. So when you're playing Rome Total War, this is usually some of the first areas that really you have no choice. Usually the people that are up and beyond these hills up in here, sometimes that are your friends and sometimes not. So usually I find that I end up having to attack these territories up here and hold all this stuff. It's been really nice flying this terrain for the first time, being a Rome Total War, Rome 2, well, Rome and Rome 2 Total War game player. Because you're always looking at mostly 2D map overhead, and it does show you the mountain ranges, but you just don't get a full understanding of what the terrain is until you do something like this and fly it. So this has been a real blast, being able to see these areas of Italy. Looks like we're a little bit off. Let me go into the cockpit, put it into heading mode. Let me click heading button here, center it, put us into heading mode, and let's turn about 20 degrees to the starboard. And then check this out. Okay, that looks about right. Passing over the airport now. I'm not on an Xbox, but when I rented the plane today, this is the only one that was available for rent out of Rome in Neofly with this livery, the Xbox livery. So all right, we could adjust another degree or two. This was off yesterday. The map was significantly off, and we weren't directly over the locations where it says we were.
The Leaning Tower of Pisa, or simply the Tower of Pisa, is the campanile, or freestanding bell tower, of the Cathedral of the Italian city of Pisa, known worldwide for its nearly 4-degree lean, the result of an unstable foundation. The tower is situated behind the Pisa Cathedral.
Oh, it is there.
The oldest structure in the city's cathedral square, after the cathedral and the Pisa Baptistry. The height of the tower is 55.86 meters from the ground on the low side and 56.67 meters on the high side. The width of the walls at the base is 2.44 meters. Its weight is estimated at 14,500 metric tons. The tower has 296 or 294 steps. The 7th floor has 2 fewer steps on the north-facing staircase. The tower began to lean during construction in the 12th century, due to soft ground which could not properly support the structure's weight, and it worsened through the completion of construction in the 14th century. By 1990 the tilt had reached 5.5 degrees. The structure was stabilized by remedial work between 1993 and 2001, which reduced the tilt to 3.97 degrees.
Now, I've always imagined it, and I always thought it was round, but it looks oval. Oh, it is round from up here. I guess circling around it, it seemed oval. Okay, it is round. 3 degrees, man. From down there to the base, it doesn't look like it. From up here, yeah. All right. So now we need to call in our arrival at LIQW. Don't see it yet there. Huh. Unlike the Middle East where we were traveling earlier, the airports are so few and far between. And here we are back in Italy, and just this short little distance, dozens and dozens and dozens of airports, like in the United States. Everywhere you throw a stick, there's a landing strip or an airport. So it's nice to be back in territory where there is an airport everywhere. Uh-oh. Dang it. 29 miles southeast, 1,500 feet to land. Altimeter 2992, wind calm, fly right, traffic runway 18. All right. Acknowledge. And 29 miles, huh? And some mountains overhead. Better climb, just safe. Have a good look at the area first. Good, there goes the climb. I'm thinking that those are the mountains up ahead that Hannibal chose to like take his army through. I'm guessing. I could be completely wrong. Could have been somewhere else altogether, but I see all the snow up there. I guess he was trying to bring an army of elephant riders from Carthage up in here and come into it and to attack Rome. I guess it didn't go too well. There's an aqueduct to our starboard. We can't, it's a little too far to see. That's cool. Archdiocese of Lucca is a Latin church. Out here on the coast, a lighthouse. I don't see the runway yet. I have to put it back into nav mode. Do we have time? Well, that's much better. It will be nice in the future if they do come out with more Rome Total War games. I would really love them now to use stuff like this. I would really like the campaign maps to look this good. Right? If they're going to go for, I mean, they can now. There's nothing stopping them from having accurate terrain for these historic Roman recreation games. So it'd be nice because, again, coming up through here, yeah, get all this. Quite the obstacle. Quite the challenge. And early on in the game, you usually have to come up into here and try to grab all the territories that are right up and right beyond these mountains, because those are usually the areas. There's an area out here that has iron, and iron is really limited in the game world. So if you ever hope to have good troops, good armor, good anything, you've got to seize the territories that have the resources that you need for all of your blacksmith operations. So you have to make your way up into these mountains to get the iron, the city that has the iron. And but if you can early on in the game, and you're very good at keeping your people happy and production up and your research going good, and if you do a lot of diplomacy, you can really get a lot of good research bonuses, provided your people aren't turning on you and betraying you. That in the mid and later part of the game, your troops are so strong that you can usually keep just one or two solid armies without having to have lots and lots of armies. Either way, your troops usually do really well. You don't have to constantly change types of troops. You know, like you're going to run into a bunch of horsemen or whatever. When dealing with different tribes and different types of armor and weaponry, your guys are usually so buffed and so strong that It doesn't matter. They're throwing elephants at you or whatever. Your guys are strong enough and have enough experience. So I tried doing that early on in the latest game that I'm playing. I'm trying to be a good guy and stay friends with everybody as much as possible. So that if you're friends with people in Rome Total War, and you do a lot of diplomacy with them, believe it or not, sometimes they'll just give you their territories. I'm not kidding. I didn't know that for the longest time. Like, I can't beat this game. They're like, well, there's a lot of things you can do that you probably haven't tried. And they were right. And that was one of them. Usually it's really hard. Usually my people are real jerks. They're always betraying me. And it seems random. I haven't completely discovered if there's a way to stop it from happening. But yeah, by just constantly doing diplomacy and other things, certain neighbors, if you've been friends with them since the game started, all of a sudden, man, they're just turning over their territories to you, and you end up taking over large areas. You can end up taking over large areas of land without having to go conquest. All right, no mountains in sight. Let's come back down. Light level change, pull back on the throttle. Separator should still be on. Landing lights are already on. If you've been watching this show over whenever the last 2 weeks, I've been repeating the same thing over and over and over again like a broken record. So if you have been watching, you know what I'm going to say. You're just doing it for the first time. I have no idea what you're going to say, man. We're dealing with areas of the world now that have been engaged in some sort of worldwide activity since the beginning of time. These areas have always had crap going on since history has been history. And yet, when you look at a majority of these places that have been active since ancient times, and they still look like this. I mean, if you really didn't catch that those are giant rectangles, I can't believe that, you know, the architecture today, just big boxes. It works, but, you know, at least paint them, man. It doesn't look like ruins from the air. We don't advertise enough on rooftops. Roofs are always just blank. There's just nothing to them. But again, it's so there's still lots of open space, and you know, it's not super sky rises everywhere. So when you travel through the old world, and everywhere, pretty much since Germany, I've been blown away at just how little there is. The last few days traveling through Greece, same thing. It's like, you're kidding me. Anybody, it seems, could still go to Greece and get a plot of land, and no matter what, it seems like you're going to find something if you just start digging around whatever plot of land that you buy. So much stuff has gone on since the beginning of time in these locations. How could you not? Now I wish I would have really paid attention and been a little bit more, not necessarily studious, but business wise, really into business and making money as a young person. Because right now, yeah, okay, good. Oh, 1 second, please. Danielle, one moment. Pause this here. I have to talk to my child for just a moment, so hey, stand by. All right. She had problems with the super expensive computer she bought and had to send it back. They've just either sent it back or sent her a new one. So that always sucks, especially when you spend so much money. Turning off the autopilot. And there's the runway down there. The airport down there. So yeah, I wish I would have paid more attention to making lots of money. So, ideas like this now, at this age, just, picking up and let's move to Greece. Let's move to the area where the Spartans fought. All that area where Alexander the Greek was, but that seems very hostile today. Still hostile today to Western people. Such schmucks. I really growing such a distaste. Let's put in a tiny bit of flap over here. Slow down.
Sarzana Cathedral in Sarzana, Liguria, Italy, is a co-cathedral of the Diocese of La Spezia Sarzana Brugnato. It is dedicated to the Assumption of the Virgin Mary.
Assumption.
The building is a mixture of the Romanesque and Gothic styles, reflecting the length of the period of its construction, from the early 13th to the late 15th century. The cathedral is noted as the home of a relic of Saint Andrew and of the blood of Christ. There is also an important Romanesque cross of Maestro Guglielmo of 1138. The cathedral was built on the site of the former Pieve of San Basilio and was under construction from 1204 to 1474, when the upper part of the west front was completed by Leonardo Riccomani of Pietrasanta. In 1735, 3 statues of popes were added to the top of the facade, Saint Eutychianus in the center between Pope Sergius IV and Pope Nicholas V. The cathedral was built as the seat of the Bishop of Luni when it was finally transferred here in 1202 after several previous moves. The bishopric was renamed after Sarzana in 1465. The Diocese of Sarzana was incorporated into the present Diocese of La Spezia Sarzana Brugnato in 1929.
Looney. All right, let's go full flaps. And this should land us about $17,000 if I'm not mistaken on that job. We'll see here in a minute. Hopefully everything went well and we get paid. Then we'll see if we can't find something that takes us along the coast, skirting France, and then go to Spain. At least they had the decency to cut the trees back.
That wasn't the softest landing I've seen.
What?
Contact ground for your parking assignment, then shut down your engine.
You're crazy. That was a good landing. Landing lights. Pull our throttle, our propeller all the way down. Pull our conditioner all the way down. Let's go ahead and switch off the battery. All right. Come on, pay us.
Transporter. Disembarking of passengers can begin.
Great. All right, so $17,763 for this flight. There was a passenger, and the payload was 3,657 pounds. 10 passengers. We're going to need some fuel. Probably terribly expensive around here.
Transporter from dispatch. Another passenger mission completed. Thanks, and bye. Let's get out of here.
I suppose that's not bad. Still, almost $1,000 just I think to get us over a half tank. Sucks. Checking markets around here. If we go to goods, the goods market, you can look and see what's going on. LIQW is selling, and yeah, let's try to find an airport going this way. LFML. LFML. They're buying fuel from here. They're selling fuel here at 103 per unit, barrel, whatever. And they're buying it for a plus 717. It's actually pretty good. Let's see what we have for jobs. Okay. No, we don't want to go north. That's the only one that's going east so far. Oh, that was a good one. For 15,000 to take us to Marseille. And it's a cargo run. 592 pounds, that's it? Okay. 592 pounds. There's 600 pounds. All right, so if I get this job, we have room left over, so we can see what we can buy stuff here.
Transporter from dispatch. It's a cargo mission today. When you check the payload in the flight plan, please release the parking brake to start.
LFSD.
Transporter from dispatch. Loading cargo. Please stand by.
So if we buy some magazines to fill up the rest of our cargo space, we can sell those at a plus $421 per unit. It says we can buy 14 boxes
Transporter
of magazines.
You can start your mission.
For $14,336, and then we'll make $421 on all 14 for every box. And that would add 1,540 more pounds. So let's buy those magazines and add 1,540 more pounds. That just puts us over 2,000 pounds there. Oh, I think we needed another 100 pounds. I'm just going to take it all the way up. Okay. And we're good. LFSD.
You're good to go. Contact the tower for clearance.
You have it right? LFSD. That is correct. Check it out in the range here. That's wrong. Did we take the wrong dang job? I must have picked the wrong spot. We're going to LFMQ. Dang it. That is what we want. So I just bought all those magazines and I probably screwed up. Yeah, because fuel is $760 per unit. Oh, well, what is what it is. No big deal. Okay. Contact the tower, and we are going east. Contact tower 11965 and ready. All right. Our landing lights back on, and our taxi light on, and ready to take this beastie off the ground again. Whoa. Weird. I'm taxiing here. That about killed us. Really? There's no way to get to the runway from here? Is that a dirt taxi? That's garbage. Oh, I see. There's another... No? No, there was none. That's weird. We'll already passed the bottom of the hour in the next hour, so as soon as we get into the air and get the autopilot on, we'll do our smoke break and our drink break. Play today's song of the day. I'll Write You a Song by Arthur Yoria.
Have a safe journey, pilot. That's some load you have there.
Right? Certainly is. Who in their right mind would put a mountain right on the coast like that? Lord? All right. Heading. Autopilot. Heading.
The Magra is a 62-kilometer-long river of northern Italy, which runs through Pontremoli, Filatiera, Villafranca in Lunigiana and Orla in the province of Massa Carrara, Santo Stefano di Magra, Vesino Liga, Arcola, Salzana and Ameglia in the province of La Spezia. In Roman times, it was known as the Macra and marked the eastern boundary of the territory of Liguria. The river's drainage basin occupies around 1,700 square kilometers. Its most important tributary is the Vara, which joins the Magra from the right within the commune of Santo Stefano di Magra.
All right, we should be good. Climbing up to 2005. Take a look. We better climb. Let's see. Looks like it's going to take us out over the water, so I guess we don't have to worry about anything. Alright, then we'll just do an alt hold at 1,800 feet. You know what, though? In case something goes wrong, I gotta remind myself. I have had some problems in the past where just unexpected things have happened. And being under 2,000 feet, 3,000 feet, you don't have enough time in case something goes wrong. So I'll go ahead and take us up to 3,000 at least. All right. And now that we're in autopilot and sightseeing mode, we can get our coffee and get our... If you want to smoke, go ahead. It's a smoker-friendly flight. And today's song of the day is I'll Write You a Song by Arthur Yoria. Uh-oh, really? What? So, I think we played it multiple times yesterday, but now it's saying that we've listened to it a couple of times, and now it doesn't want us to listen to it. Really? Well, that's what I get. I'm currently not up on my subscription. And I don't want to take the time right at the moment to set up my BANDCAMP account. Oh, that's a drag. Bushtalk Radio is really cool. Actually, if you're not live streaming, because I can't do it while live streaming. It does have a radio function. It'll play local radio stations wherever you're at in the world, and so you get to hear all the different music from wherever you're at. And it is an amazing feature. And it's a real shame that I can't do it. And we can listen to radio from I mean, I can, but then it demonetizes any potential for the live stream. If money wasn't an issue and I really had the $9 million that our character currently has in Neofly, yeah, it wouldn't be a problem. So I am trying to build up YouTube as an alternate revenue stream with these activities and the live streams. And as you can imagine, because it's so dry, you know, yeah, we don't get a lot of likes and subscribes. We're missing all kinds of stuff with this job along the coast here. That is a real drag. Manarola. We might as well listen to these. So this is to our right along the shore over here.
Monarola is a small town, a frazione of the comune of Riomaggiore, in the province of La Spezia, Liguria, northern Italy. It is the second smallest of the famous Cinque Terre towns frequented by tourists, with a population of 353. Like its fellow Cinque Terre town of Riomaggiore, it was featured in the video game Forza Horizon 2. Monarola was not featured as the main location but was referenced on various road signs. It is also the inspiration for the Dorado map in video game Overwatch. The Cinque Terre towns, Monarola included, are the inspiration for the town of Porto Rosso in the 2021 animated film Luca.
Yeah, I don't recall that film at all. Mm-mm.
Carniglia is a frazione within the comune of Vernazza in the province of La Spezia, Liguria, northern Italy, with a population of about 150. Unlike the other localities of the Cinque Terre, Carniglia is not directly adjacent to the sea. Instead, it is on the top of a promontory about 100 meters high, surrounded on three sides by vineyards and terraces. The fourth side descends steeply to the sea. To reach Carniglia, it is necessary to climb the Ladarina, a long brick flight of steps composed of 33 flights with 382 steps, or otherwise follow a vehicular road that, from the station, leads to the village. Sometimes a small bus runs. The village stretches along the main road, Fieschi Road, and the houses have one side facing this road and the other facing the sea. Carniglia is characterized by narrow roads and a terrace in the rock from which all other four Cinque Terre villages, two on one side and two on the other, can be seen. The town planning structure presents original characteristics compared to those of the other villages. The houses are lower set, and only more recently higher, similar to those of the villages of the hinterland. Carniglia is mentioned in a famous novella of Giovanni Boccaccio's Decameron and in the novel The Invisible Circus by Jennifer Egan. The Cinque Terre is a coastal area within Liguria, in the northwest of Italy. It lies in the west of La Spezia province, and comprises 5 villages: Monterosso al Mare, Vernazza, Carniglia, Monarola, and Riomaggiore. The coastline, the 5 villages, and the surrounding hillsides are all part of the Cinque Terre National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Cinque Terre area is a popular tourist destination. Over the centuries, people have built terraces on the rugged, steep landscape right up to the cliffs that overlook the sea. Paths, trains and boats connect the villages as cars can reach them from the outside only via narrow and precarious mountain roads with great difficulty.
Right here, off to our right, something about a submarine.
HMS Simoom was a third-batch S-class submarine built for the Royal Navy during World War II. She was laid down on the 14th of July 1941 and launched on the 12th of October 1942. After an initial patrol off Norway, Samum sailed to Gibraltar, then to Algiers, French North Africa. From there, she conducted 4 patrols and attacked several ships, but only sank an Italian destroyer. Samum then visited several ports in the eastern Mediterranean, then departed Port Said for a patrol off Turkey. She did not return from this patrol, and it is considered most likely that she hit a mine and sank. Her wreck was discovered in 2016 off Tenedos, Turkey.
Okay.
The SS Principessa Yolanda was an Italian transatlantic ocean liner built by Cantiere Navale di Riva Triglasso for the Navigazione Generale Italiana Shipping Company. Named after Princess Yolanda Margherita di Savoia, the eldest daughter of King Victor Emmanuel III, the ship was intended for the NGI's South American service. At 9,210 tons and 141 meters in length, she was the largest passenger ship built in Italy up to that time. Constructed at a cost of 6 million lire to designs by Erasmo Piaggio, the Principessa Yolanda has also been called the first true Italian luxury liner. She was among the first transatlantic vessels fitted with Marconi wireless telegraphy, electric lighting throughout and telephones in each cabin. At 12:25 p.m. on the 22nd of September 1907, the nearly completed Principessa Yolanda was launched before a large audience of onlookers, government officials and foreign journalists. After traveling down the slipway, the ship immediately became unstable and heeled sharply to port. Efforts by tugboats and shipyard workers to rescue the situation, including lowering the anchors to starboard to counteract the movement, were unsuccessful.
Wow.
After 20 minutes, the vessel's list was such that it began taking on water through openings in the upper decks. She soon capsized with her funnels a few meters above and parallel to the water. Within an hour she finally slid lower until only a few feet of the side were visible. The captain, his guests and the workers on board had just enough time to escape in the lifeboats. There were no casualties. Although brand new, she was deemed unsalvageable and the wreck was broken up on site. The engines were salvaged and used in another vessel, now believed to be the SS Milazzo.
How in the world do you make that kind of ballast error? That would be so heartbreaking. Spend all your time as a laborer. For who knows how long it would have taken to build something of that magnitude. Crazy.
Punta Manara is the end of a promontory in the Gulf of Tigulio between the Ligurian towns of Sestri Levante and Riva Triglasso in the province of Genoa, Italy. It has been subject to environmental protection since 1977. Punta Manara is a popular destination for tourists from Italy and from all over the world. Located at the southeast of the Gulf of Tigulio, it offers glimpses of the coast and many plant and animal species that inhabit the maquis shrubland. The headland is approximately 190 hectares, of which about 50 hectares are covered with ilex trees, while the remaining area is divided between high maquis with arbutus and heather, and a small strip of cork oak woodland. At an altitude of 265 meters, the top of the promontory is called Monte Castello and is covered by maritime pine woodland, in which are the ruins of an ancient fortress and of military buildings from World War II. The well-preserved remains of a watchtower for defense against Saracens stand at about 140 meters above sea level. It is a strategic site, and an excellent maritime lookout location. The northern slopes of Punta Manara collect water which flows into Rio Ravino, which crosses the main path to the headland. Although small, It collects water from several tributaries and is used for irrigating vegetables and olive trees around the village of Ginestra. The annual rainfall in the area is about 1,200 millimeters. Punta Manara can only be reached by paths that climb the promontory above Sestri Levante. A nature trail on the promontory has signs that describe the plants that can be seen. There is a municipal campsite near the end of the promontory. Sestri Levante is a town and comune in Liguria, Italy. Lying on the Mediterranean Sea, it is approximately 56 kilometers south of Genoa and is set on a promontory. While nearby Portofino and the Cinque Terre are probably the best-known tourist destinations on the Italian Riviera, Sestri Levante is becoming quite a favorite among Italians. This once quiet fishing village is slowly turning into a tourist hotspot, developing an old and a new town. Sestri Levante is found approximately halfway between Genoa and La Spezia. The town has two bays, Baia del Favole and Baia del Silencio. The original part of Sestri Levante is actually on a peninsula, with the Baia del Silencio on one side and Baia del Favole on the other. Baia del Favole, or Bay of Fairy Tales, was named in honor of Danish writer Hans Christian Andersen, who lived in Sestri Levante for a short time in 1833.
Hear that, Hans? So check it out, that tunnel. Look at this tunnel. The highway comes here, goes into the mountain there. I'm like, cool, a tunnel. And look at this stretch. And then another one. Wow, that stretch underground. This is pretty. All right, so what do we have here?
Chiavari is a town near Genoa, in Italy. It has about 28,000 inhabitants. It is situated near the river Entella. A pre-Roman necropolis, which dates from the 8th to 7th century BC, has been uncovered in the area where Chiavari is located now. Chiavari grew up on the traces of a Roman camp on the Via Aurelia. A castle was constructed in 1147. The old town contains numerous arcades and buildings from the 13th century, including a castle, several mansions, and the nearby church of San Salvatore di Lavagna, which was founded in 1224 by Innocent IV. The cathedral was rebuilt in 1613. Known famously as a center of ancient humanistic tradition, Chiavari has a public library with a collection of manuscripts and incunabula. After the discovery of the conspiracy of the Fieschi, in 1542, and the capture of Chiavari by the Counts of Lavagna, the town suffered much, being associated with the conspirators. Among its illustrious citizens were Luca Contiano di Moneglia, founder of an art academy, and Giuseppe Gregorio Solari, translator of many Latin poets. From 1805 to 1814, Chiavari served as the capital of the short-lived Apennines departments of France of the First French Empire. Chiavari is the home of the Chiavari chair designed in 1807 by a local, Giuseppe Gaetano Descalzi. The chair was a success and led to the opening of many factories in Chiavari and surrounding towns. Chiavari railway station was opened in 1868. It is located in a passageway between the town centre and the beach side. Colonia Fara building was built in 1935 during the fascist regime. In 2014, the football team Virtus Entella was promoted in the Italian Serie B for the first time in history and was relegated back to the third division after 4 years in 2018.
The only thing that I find sad is that I wish them well doing all these tunnels. I mean, tunnels are cool, but they still at the same time, you know, they frighten me. Because earthquakes happen, right? So I don't see how these will be possible to remain over long periods of time. Like the time spans that we've been exploring back to Alexander the Great. And there was still magnitudes of time span before that. So I'm really sad thinking about the future and the potential of, through Earth shifts and everything else happening, that eventually in time, who knows if every single one of these tunnels will cease to exist. And unfortunately, the catastrophe that could be associated with any of that. I would like to believe that our modern architectures and the construction is so amazing that it doesn't happen. But we know our Earth. All right, so down the road a ways, we do have this. So let's go to this town here.
The Rapallo Conference, 5th of November 1917, and the Peschiera Conference, 8th of November 1917, were meetings of the Prime Ministers of Italy, France and Britain, Vittorio Orlando, Paul Ponleve and David Lloyd George, during World War I in Rapallo and Peschiera in Italy following the Italians' defeat at the Battle of Caporetto. The conferences were held in Italy to reassure the Italians of the Allied commitment to them and of their status as equals. At Rapallo, the French and British premiers refused to entrust their troops in Italy to the command of General Luigi Cadorna and demanded his dismissal. Although he later presented this as a great humiliation, Orlando had made the sacking of Cadorna a condition of his accepting the premiership of Italy from the king. Cadorna was replaced by Armando Diaz. The conference also agreed to the formation of a Supreme War Council at Versailles to coordinate Allied plans and actions. At Peschiera, the prime ministers were joined by King Victor Emmanuel III, Sidney Sonnino, Leonida Bissolati, Henry Franklin Bouillon, and Jan Smuts. The king defended Italy's decision to defend the Piave rather than the Mincio, but the Italians were forced to accept British and French freedom of action in Italy. Hannibal's Bridge is apparently one of the oldest structures, dating back to Roman imperial times, in the city of Rapallo, Italy, which sits on the Ligurian coast. This bridge was possibly used by Carthaginian commander Hannibal during his campaign against Rome in the Second Punic War, where he possibly unloaded supplies on the Taigalia coast. The bridge could also be connected to the Battle of Trebia. The structure's name first appears in a notary deed dated April 7, 1049, where it is claimed that Rinaldo donated some land near the bridge to the Genovese church of Santa Maria di Castello. The bridge was renovated in 1733 after widespread flooding. 90 years later, after the Kingdom of Sardinia had annexed all of Liguria, the final section of the creek that the bridge spanned was diverted to construct a new road to Santa Margherita. Today, the overgrown bridge is closed off to the public but is visibly located in downtown Rapallo, crossing over the Corso Cristoforo Colombo thoroughfare to Santa Margherita. Chavara Abbey is a former abbey in Santa Margherita Liga, Liguria region, northern Italy. It is on the coastal road to Portofino. The abbey complex is a designated national monument of Italy. The monastery building was built in 1361 by Ottone Lanfranco, a priest at the Church of Santo Stefano in Genoa, on land owned by the Carthusian monks. It was dedicated to Saint Jerome. Later, Pope Eugene IV transferred ownership of it to the Benedictines of Monte Cassino and had it restored. The monastery became a center for the spread of Flemish artistic influence in Liguria, with works such as the Chavara Polyptych by Gerard David, and an Adoration of the Magi triptych by Peter Coek van Aelst. The monastery was elevated to the rank of abbey in 1546. In the same period it was fortified in response to the increasing inroads made by North African pirates. In the late 18th century, after the French conquest of Italy, the abbey was suppressed and sacked. The precious Chavara Polyptych was split up and sold separately. 4 panels are now in the gallery of Palazzo Bianco in Genoa, while the other 3 are in Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York and the Musée du Louvre in Paris. In 1804 French Trappists acquired the abbey and opened a school there, but they remained only until 1811. The complex subsequently became the property of the Diocese of Chiavari and, in 1859, was put up for sale. Marquis Giacomo Filippo d'Orazzo, a member of the Genoese nobility, acquired it in 1868. 3 years later he donated it to the Somaschi Fathers. From 1901 to 1937 the abbey was entrusted to the French Carthusians and in 1912 was declared a national monument.
I've always heard the name Portofino. It gets used a lot. But here's the actual place. Now I know where it's at.
Portofino is an Italian fishing village and holiday resort famous for its picturesque harbor and historical associations.
That's as much as I can zoom in.
Visitors. It is a comune located in the metropolitan city of Genoa on the Italian Riviera. The town is clustered around its small harbor and is known for the colorfully painted buildings that line the shore. Pliny the Elder referred to Portus Delphini as on the Ligurian coast between Genoa and the Gulf of Tigullio. The village is mentioned in a diploma from 986 by Adelaide of Italy, which assigned it to the nearby abbey of San Frutuoso di Capodimonte. Christ of the Abyss is a submerged bronze statue of Jesus Christ by Guido Galletti, the original cast of which is located in the Mediterranean Sea, off San Frutuoso, between Camogli and Portofino on the Italian Riviera. Various other casts of the statue are located in other places worldwide, in underwater locations, churches and museums. A third bronze statue, from the original mold, was presented to the Underwater Society of America in New York in 1962, and shipped by boat to Chicago, where it was set up for unveiling in the ballroom of the Palmer House Hotel at the Underwater
That's so strange to me.
1962 convention. Camogli is a fishing village and tourist resort located on the west side of the peninsula of Portofino, on the Golfo Paradiso in the river. Recco is a comune in the metropolitan city of Genoa, region of Liguria, Italy. It is known for its focaccia al formaggio, which is made with stracchino. The consortium that dictates the official recipe of the focaccia, supposedly the result of a Saracen attack in the 13th century, has the Stadio Comunale Luigi Ferraris, also known as the Marassi from the name of the neighborhood where it is located, is a multi-use stadium in Genoa, Italy. The home of Genoa CFC and UC Sampdoria football clubs, it opened in 1911 and is one of the oldest stadiums still in use for football and other sports in Italy. Aside from football, the stadium has hosted meetings of rugby in the Italian national team and, more rarely, some concerts. The stadium is named after an Italian footballer, engineer and soldier who died during the World War I. Genoa, Ligurian, Zena, English, historically, and Latin. Genoa is the capital of the Italian region of Liguria and the sixth largest city in Italy. In 2015, 594,733 people lived within the city's administrative limits. As of the 2011 Italian census, the province of Genoa, which in 2015 became the metropolitan city of Genoa, counted 855,834 resident persons. Over 1.5 million people live in the wider metropolitan area stretching along the Italian Riviera. Located on the Gulf of Genoa in the Ligurian Sea, Genoa has historically been one of the most important ports on the Mediterranean. It is currently the busiest in Italy and in the Mediterranean Sea and 12th busiest in the European Union. Genoa has been nicknamed La Superba due to its glorious past and impressive landmarks, having been the capital of one of the most powerful maritime republics for over 7 centuries. The city has hosted massive shipyards and steelworks since the 19th century, and its solid financial sector dates back to the Middle Ages. The Bank of St. George, founded in 1407, is the oldest known state deposit bank in the world and has played an important role in the city's prosperity since the middle of the 15th century. Part of the old town of Genoa was inscribed on the World Heritage List in 2006 as Genoa, Le Strade Nuove and the system of the Palazzi dei Roli. The Mattitone is a skyscraper designed by Skidmore, Owings, and Merrill, Mario Lanata and Andrea Messina and finished building in 1992, used as a business center located in the neighborhood, near. The Lighthouse of Genoa is the main lighthouse for the city's port. Besides being an important aid to night navigation in the vicinity, the tower serves as a symbol and a landmark for the city of Genoa. Built of masonry, at 76 meters it is the world's 5th tallest lighthouse and the 2nd tallest traditional one. Between 1543 and the construction of the lighthouse on Ile Vierge, France in 1902, it was the tallest lighthouse in the world. When measured as a whole with the natural rock on which it stands, as it is commonly perceived and represented, its height is 117 meters, which would make it the second tallest lighthouse in the world, the tallest in Europe, and the tallest traditional lighthouse. It is constructed in 2 square portions, each one capped by a terrace. The whole structure is crowned by a lantern from which the light is shone. Rebuilt in its current shape in 1543, replacing the former lighthouse, it is the world's 3rd oldest lighthouse, following the Tower of Hercules in A Coruña, Spain, and Corfu Lighthouse, on the island of Hiiumaa, Estonia. Bassano Vecchia is a former ghost town in Liguria, Italy. Abandoned due to an earthquake in 1887,
See? Earthquakes.
it was renovated and repopulated by an international community of artists in the early 1960s. It is administratively a hamlet of the city of San Remo, near the border with France. To this day, it is home to a small group of local inhabitants as well as international artists, with craft shops, cafes, and restaurants, and has over the years gained the reputation of a rural artist's residence within the setting of a medieval village.
That sounds ideal for a person like me. The only thing I wanted to be growing up was an artist, really. And, you know, I'll never, I guess, well, up to this point, I haven't produced anything in a while. But up to this point, I think I've been rather prolific with things that I've done. Not to the extent like some people, but you know, hey, in my own life, I feel like I produced quite a bit. Nothing hanging in museums, as far as I know. A lot of it has been in graphic arts and you know, helping other people, commercial arts. But there's some fine arts in there. You know, anything visual art, you know. So living in a medieval village, the earthquake stuff, I mean, I guess that can happen anywhere, but a bunch of artists hanging out in a old medieval village. Sounds pretty nice, actually.
Ouvrage Col d'Agnon is a lesser work of the Maginot Line's Alpine extension, Alpine Line. The ouvrage consists of 2 entry blocks and 1 observation block facing Italy at an altitude of 998 meters or 3,274 feet. The ouvrage was manned by 59 soldiers in 1940 under Sub-Lieutenant Lacour. The position was sited to observe the Roya Valley. Ouvrage translates as works in English. Publications in both English and French refer to these fortifications in this manner, rather than as forts. An ouvrage typically consists of a distributed series of concrete encased strongpoints defending a region, linked by tunnels, as opposed to a fort, which typically refers to a defended surface enclosure, which may have underground galleries as an adjunct.
I'm sorry, I have to step away for a moment and go check on my child. I'm so sorry, folks. So my daughter got this super expensive computer. Monte Carlo.
The Monte Carlo Casino, officially named Casino de Monte Carlo, is a gambling and entertainment complex located in Monaco. It includes a casino, the Opéra de Monte Carlo, and the Office of Les Ballets de Monte Carlo. The Casino de Monte Carlo is owned and operated by the Société des Bains de Mer de Monaco, a public company in which the Monaco government and the ruling royal family have a majority interest. The company also owns the principal hotels, sports clubs, food service establishments, and nightclubs throughout the principality. The citizens of Monaco are forbidden to enter the gaming rooms of the casino. Circuit de Monaco is a 3.337-kilometre street circuit laid out on the city streets of Monte Carlo and La Condamine around the harbour of the Principality of Monaco. It is commonly, and even officially, referred to as Monte Carlo because it is largely inside the Monte Carlo neighbourhood of Monaco. The circuit is annually used on 3 weekends in April to May for Formula 1 Monaco Grand Prix, Formula E Monaco E-Prix and Historic Grand Prix of Monaco. Formula 1's respective feeder series over the years Formula 3000, GP2 Series and today the Formula 2 Championship and Porsche Super Cup also visit the circuit concurrently with Formula 1. The Monaco Grand Prix is one of the 3 events victories in which count towards the Triple Crown of motorsport. Monaco, officially the Principality of Monaco, is a sovereign city-state, country, and microstate on the French Riviera in Western Europe. It is bordered by France to the north, east and west, and by the Mediterranean Sea to the south. The Principality is home to 38,682 residents and is widely recognized for being one of the most expensive and wealthiest places in the world. The official language is French, although Monégasque, English and Italian are spoken and understood by a sizable group. With an area of 2.1 square kilometers, it is one of the smallest sovereign states in Europe and the second smallest in the world, after the Vatican City. Its 19,009 inhabitants per square kilometer make it the most densely populated sovereign state in the world. Monaco has a land border of 5.47 kilometers, the world's shortest coastline of approximately 3.83 kilometers, and a width that varies between 1,700 and 349 meters. The highest point in the country is a narrow pathway named Chemin des Revoirs on the slopes of Mont Agel, in the Les Revoirs ward, which is 161 meters above sea level. Through land reclamation, Monaco's land mass has expanded by 20%. In 2005, it had an area of only 1.974 square kilometers. The Principality is governed under a form of constitutional monarchy, with Prince Albert II as head of state. Although Prince Albert II is a constitutional monarch, he wields immense political power. The state's sovereignty was officially recognized by the Franco-Monégasque Treaty of 1861, with Monaco becoming a full United Nations voting member in 1993. Economic development was spurred in the late 19th century with the opening of the country's first casino, Monte Carlo, and a railway connection to Paris. Since then, Monaco's mild climate, scenery, and gambling facilities have contributed to the Principality's status as a tourist destination and recreation center for the rich. In more recent years, Monaco has become a major banking center and has sought to diversify its economy into the services sector and small, high-value-added, non-polluting industries. The state has no income tax, low business taxes, and is well known for being a tax haven. In 2014, it was noted that about 30% of the population was made up of millionaires. Monaco is not formally a part of the European Union, but it participates in certain EU policies, including customs and border controls. Through its relationship with France, Monaco uses the euro as its sole currency. It is also the host of the annual street circuit motor race Monaco Grand Prix, one of the original Grands Prix of Formula One, the birthplace of Scuderia Ferrari driver Charles Leclerc. The Principality has a club football team, as Monaco. The Abbey of St. Pons is one of the oldest monasteries on the French Riviera, along with Lerins Abbey. It is located in the municipality of Nice in the Alpes-Maritimes. The Marc Chagall National Museum is a French national museum dedicated to the work of painter Marc Chagall, essentially his works inspired by religion, located in Nice in the Nice is the 7th most populous urban area in France and the capital of the Alpes-Maritimes department. Located in the French Riviera, on the southeast coast of France on the Mediterranean Sea, at the foot of the Alps, Nice is the second largest French city on the Mediterranean coast and the second largest city in the Provence-Alpes-Côte d'Azur region after Marseille. Nice is approximately 13 kilometers from the Principality of Monaco and 30 kilometers from the French-Italian border. Nice's airport serves as a gateway to the region. The city is nicknamed Nice la Belle, which means Nice the Beautiful, which is also the title of the unofficial anthem of Nice, written by Menica Rondelli in. On the evening of the 14th of July 2016, a 19-ton cargo truck was deliberately driven into crowds of people celebrating Bastille Day on the Promenade des Anglais in Nice, France, resulting in the deaths of 86 people and the injury of 434 others. The driver was Mohamed Lahawaye Boulou, a Tunisian living in France. The attack happened following an exchange of gunfire, during which Lahawaye Boulou was shot and killed by police. On the 15th of July, French President François Hollande called the attack an act of Islamic terrorism, announced an extension of the state of emergency for a further 3 months, and announced an intensification of French airstrikes on Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant in Syria and Iraq. France later extended the state of emergency until the 26th of January 2017. The French government declared 3 days of national mourning starting on the 16th of July. Thousands of extra police and soldiers were deployed while the government called on citizens to join the reserve forces. The Allianz Riviera is a multi-use stadium in Nice, France, used mostly for football.
So my daughter bought this really expensive computer and then started having problems where just shutting down. So she sent it back and they've sent it back. And right off the bat, having her check the Windows saying SFC has encountered problems, it can't recover. And I don't know why she didn't get, why they're shipping a product that has that problem to begin with. And so it makes no sense to me. So I'm hoping that they can either help her do a format reload or I don't know. I mean, it's really frustrating when you spend a ton of money on something. Like, that's it. I want to buy something really nice. So she just got it back, and I just told her just to check it real quick, and then start installing things back onto it one by one, and then checking, the basic troubleshooting so you know where your problem is. Don't just load everything up, because then you have no idea what's causing the problem, where to deal with the problem. So I've cautioned her on taking it slow when you get a new computer or you're loading a new computer, and do your reboots, because the computer doesn't set things. You load something and then you load another thing, and then you don't restart after you install each thing. So how do you know where the problem's at? And it doesn't set it into the memory of the registry until you reboot anything. And sometimes you probably got to do a reboot twice just to make sure it's set in the registry and memory, blah, blah, blah. And Windows has had a couple of reboots to think about what you've just done, and just make sure that everything's fine for those at least 2 reboots, and move on to your next thing. Make sure every time it starts up fast, shuts down fast, no problems. So Windows has the ability to fix itself, to run troubleshooters on itself, and System File Checker is one of those powerful tools that users have had at their fingertips since computers began. System File Checker, and it scans everything in Windows, and it tells you, and it scans the hard drive, and it tells you if there's any problems. So right off the bat, I told her run that first, and it said it has problems that it can't fix. How is that? What? So that's what she's dealing with in there right now. So as soon as I land, I'm gonna go ahead and end the show and run in there with her. It's about time anyway. So we're landing at LFMQ. We need to contact air traffic control. I love it. I love that there's airports everywhere here. It's really sad to hear that, there was that terrorist attack. I want us to pick a runway. Wind is blowing from the west. Doesn't really matter. Probably 12. It's 4 miles east, 3,000 feet, inbound to land runway 12. Very pretty. Everything that we've just been through in the last 2 weeks. The rout of Alexander and the conflict, the reason why Alexander did what he did, the reason why the Greeks have done what they've done, the reason why the Persians, just to put it simply, the Persian Empire, which is many, 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 many peoples, under the Persian umbrella, and that these conflicts still go on, and they're still up to what they're up to. Now they're just playing nice guy in the modern world, but they're still doing what they're doing. And for us to not understand that they are still doing what they've been doing the entire time. And then we're like, okay, let's be friends and let's kumbaya and ha ha ha. The ha 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 always seems to happen. Time changes, the earth changes, buildings change, names change. What remains the same is the psyche, the human archetype, the human archetypes, the human condition, the human personality traits, and I don't know where I'm going with that. Either way, the same people always seem to give us the ha-ha. And then we have to say, well, darn it, we're mad now. And we're going to have to punch you in the nose. And they push and they push and they push. And they've been pushing. Now, if we want to go back to why why the push. I still don't know that I'm on their side. We want to go back to the first conflicts of why. What's their reason to say? What gives them the right? To believe that they can continue to the conquest of all Western space, Western states, the Western world. Why do they feel that they get to be in charge when we've just flown through their territory? You have to go far between to find airports, modern cities. Advanced civilization. At least just modern. But yet we in the Western world, done pretty well. We're not perfect. Nobody's been perfect. But the stories aren't every day of this, as far as I know. Oh, we just went and took their lands again and pushing on them. We car bombed them today. We blew up a bus. We committed an act of terrorism in their territories. That's not our MO. Right? A bunch of Americans, they've moved over to different countries and they're running around raping everybody. And sorry, that's probably going to give me a strike for using the word on a live stream. That's how touchy they are these days. Can't say anything. When was the last time an American went around the world and is responsible for a bad guy spree? Oh, those Americans. You can't trust them at all, man. No matter where they go on crime sprees. They're always taking people out. They're always causing problems. And when you get enough of them here, they demand you accommodate them. Yeah, a bunch of Americans went down to Saudi Arabia recently and, just, or anywhere. Show me those news stories, please. If I'm unaware, I'm unaware, and I'll say, okay, I was unaware that the American, when traveling anywhere abroad, is the problem. Other than just being stupid, right? Maybe a little bit too arrogant. Maybe not enough time around lots of different cultures. And we still have lots of different cultures, but, truly, foreign from our perspective. Hello from Finland. I will show you. And I'm so sorry you're coming in at the end, getting ready to wrap the show up, but we are right here in the world. And we started out today all the way back in Rome over here and skirted up this way, went to Pisa, saw the Leaning Tower, come around here. We now know where Portofino, Italy is. Roughly where Monte Carlo is. And yeah, we're getting ready to come in. We're coming for a landing here. We didn't make it to Spain today, unfortunately. And while you're here, thank you for saying hi in the chat room. How long do we have here? 10 minutes. Perfect. Okay, so while you're here, and thank you for saying something in the chat room, that allows me to immediately click on your name, go to channel, and subscribe. It's been always tough trying to find people. So I look forward to any content that you post, and it should alert me when you do post some stuff, and I look forward to it. And we all start somewhere. So good luck building your channel and having fun with that. But you can always run back in here if I miss something and you don't get any views when you first put something up. Never hesitate to come in here and say, hey, I put some stuff up. Go check it out. Share me on Twitter. And I will be happy to do so. And we've been doing audio tours the whole way using this Bushtalk Radio and things like this. We just we're a little far away to trigger these, but
Place des Lyces, also known as Place Carnot, is a 19th century public square in the city of Saint-Tropez, France. Place des Lyces is located south of the Saint-Tropez Vieux Port at the convergence of Avenue Foch and Boulevard Vassereau. The area of Place des Lyces dates back to the 9th and 10th century, when the field was likely used as a jousting ground as the original meaning of Lyces.
Jousting?
Fort de Bragançon is a medieval fortress, located 35 meters above sea level on an islet off the French Riviera, connected by a short causeway to the mainland. It has been the official retreat of the President of the French Republic since 1968. Hyères is a commune in the Var department in the Provence-Alpes-Côte d'Azur region in southeastern France. The old town lies 4 kilometers from the sea, clustered around the castle of Saint Bernard, which is set on a hill. Between the old town and the sea lies the pine-covered hill of Costebelle, which overlooks the peninsula of Gines. Hyères is the oldest resort on the French Riviera. Its position facing the Mediterranean to the south makes it popular with tourists in the winter and makes it ideal for the cultivation of palm trees. About 100,000 palm trees are exported from the area each year. As a result, the town is frequently referred to as Hyères-les-Palmiers. The 3 islands of the Îles d'Hyères, namely Porquerolles, Port-Cross, and the Île du Levant, are just offshore. Porquerolles and Port-Cross form the Port-Cross National Park.
All right. Oh, I understand. A lot of people just use YouTube for just watching and entertainment. But if you do, I'm interested in everything pretty much. History and simming and gaming and all kinds of subjects. So if you do post stuff up, I probably will like it. I'll definitely check it out. Okay, what is next? How much time do we have? 6 minutes and 28 seconds. But I'll be back tomorrow, and tomorrow actually is Microsoft's Friday fly-in, where everybody in the community is invited to fly with the Microsoft team. And it's going to be, I want to say it's Luxembourg to Paris. But I'm not 100%. After this show tonight, I will plan for tomorrow, and that's what I would like to do, is do the Friday fly-in thing with everybody. That I might have to start 1 hour early at noon Mountain Standard Time tomorrow. And if you're interested in doing something similar or checking that out, it'll be dozens and dozens of planes in the sky at once. It's pretty neat. It's a large community, and everybody's starting to participate in these in the fly-ins. The last one was great. We did the Dune ornithopter from the movie, and that was crazy, seeing ornithopters all over the place like a locust plague. I love that. Curiosity is life at the best. I wish I would have been more curious as a younger person. A lot more. I really think, I wish I would have been way more hungry for education. Only 4 minutes out, but we have some scary terrain in front. I don't know if it's going to put us just right beyond this hill down into this valley. I think so. I don't think we're going to have to go over that next ridge. Oh, we're missing something. There we go. Oh yeah, possibly. Sure enough, over that ridge. So let's get ourselves a little bit more altitude. Oh, I see it. You can begin to see the entry of the landing pattern out there. But it's still definitely going to take us. We should get... We don't have to. We can cut through this valley, I guess, then. Go to that end. Alright, so altitude hold. And press the heading button. Adjust to right about there and select heading hold. There we go. Travel that away now. Oh. Overdid it. You came in when I was ranting about political stuff. And I want to apply the same thing to people of Finland. When was the last time you heard about people from Finland going over to other countries and, oh man, can't let those people from Finland go anywhere. Everywhere they go, they commit massive amounts of crime and they're a menace to the local populations. Boy, when those Finnish people get together and they start conglomerating in masses, they're just a nightmare. They demand everybody change for them. People from Finland. Now that was a joke entirely. If you did tune in, you're like, I don't know why you're saying that. I was talking about I was being a jerk. It would really be nice to have world peace in this time, but you know, the same kind of crap has been going on from the beginning, and through these travels that I'm doing and learning about ancient stuff like the route of Alexander the Great, learning how these certain conflicts just keep happening over and over and over again. And I don't think we're the problem. I'll tell you what, though, don't make those Finnish people angry. And yes, allow me to salute your words.
The Sandbaum is a mountain ridge spreading between the departments of Bouches-du-Rhône and Var in southern France. Its summit is 1,147 meters high. History: Sandbaum Grotto. John Cassian established a priory at Sandbaum in the early 5th
How beautiful.
Magdalene's Grotto. According to the tradition of Provence, Mary Magdalene, lovers Bethany and Maximinus, one of the 70 disciples, and some companions, expelled by persecutions from the Holy Land, traversed the Mediterranean in a frail boat with neither rudder nor mast and landed at the place called Sainte-Maryse de la Mer near Arles. Lazarus came to Marseille and converted the whole of Provence. Magdalene is said to have retired to a cave on a hill by Marseille, La Sainte-Baume Holy Cave, Bormo in Provençal, where she gave herself up to a life of prayer and contemplation. The cave is now a Christian pilgrimage site. Louis IX of France visited the grotto in 1254. The site was under the management of the Dominicans when it was pillaged during the French Revolution. They subsequently returned in 1859 at the behest of Jean-Baptiste Henri Lacordaire. In 1941, a hostel and school were established to serve as refuge for those fleeing Nazi persecution.
All right, turn off the autopilot and slowing down. That's very interesting. And another interesting name popped up in that, and that being Lazarus. Oh, I can agree to that mostly. I'll keep trying no matter what with the voting thing. As far as everything else, it's like you're right. It seems futile. Let me do full flaps. It does seem futile. I think, you know, looking at it with history in mind, at least allows one to kind of understand it. So it's been nice having tools like this, Microsoft Flight Simulator, for me to fly around. It does keep me curious. And last week was the route of Alexander the Great. And so we got to learn about all that conflict and working our way up to today. And how that conflict was ongoing way before his time.
The Circuit Paul
That's pretty
Ricard
close to
is
the
a French
center line,
motorsport
pilot.
racetrack
Nice job.
built in
Taxi to parking,
1969
please.
at Le Castellet, Var, near Marseille, with
Contact
finance
ground for
from
your parking
Pastis
assignment,
magnate Paul
then shut down
Ricard.
your engine.
Ricard wanted to experience the challenge of building a racetrack. The circuit has been part of the FIA Formula One since the 2018 Formula One World Championship as the French Grand Prix, previously serving in 1971, 1973, 1975 to 1976, 1978, 1980, 1982 to 1983, as well as from 1985 to 1990. Opened on the 19th of April 1970, the circuit's innovative facilities made it one of the safest motor racing circuits in the world at the time of its opening. The circuit had 3 track layout permutations, a large industrial park and an airstrip. The combination of modern facilities, mild winter weather and an airstrip made it popular amongst racing teams for car testing during the annual winter off-season.
This is good enough. All right, let's pop out and have a quick look around where we're at. So it looks like tomorrow we'll get to Spain. That's interesting. All right, so looking at the big picture, we are right here. So we have to finish up tomorrow. Got to get around this curve here. Yeah, I didn't make it very far. I really thought we'd do better. I thought we could make it down to here. This is always an interesting part of Rome Total War when you start making it down here. Try to capture all of this. But that point in particular, you can control, at least put ships there, and you can really, and troops there, and you can really lock down what's going on there. Everything that's going to be coming from the Gauls and these people, the Gauls and Britain. Up in here. Finnish people. All right. Allow me to say goodbye. Thank you for tuning in for today's show. I'll be back tomorrow again. We're going to try to do the Microsoft Flight Simulator fly-in. Might be starting an hour early. And if we aren't doing anything this weekend with my real social life, then possibly back for this weekend, getting back to some DCS World and maintaining and doing our dogfighter and fighter pilot training. Still not very good at it, blowing myself up with my own bombs more often than not, but slowly learning how to become a fighter pilot. So that's exciting. All right, I am off to help my daughter with her very expensive computer to figure out why right off the bat they shipped her a unit that's giving her a systems file checker has found errors it cannot fix. I wouldn't be happy with that. How do you feel about that? You know, with these modern computers, but in the last, since computers have been around, that's an error you don't want to have. So you might be an old computer person too, and hopefully you would agree that up till maybe the last 10 years, that's a bad errors. You don't want system file checker to fail on anything. But I can't imagine now with today's computer that, well, that's not such a big deal anymore. Let system file checker, it's okay. So how do you feel about that? I have to run in there now to help her with this situation. You're welcome. I'm not sure what sounds horrible. Hopefully the stream doesn't sound horrible and the audio's messed up in some way. Oops.